All right. Hello to everyone, and welcome back to Multifamily Mastery Episode 3. This is the podcast where I take you on a journey into multifamily investing as a complete beginner and hopefully end up somewhere someday. I'm your host, Jonathan Zook, and once again, welcome. So this episode of the podcast is going to be focused on mindset, which is, in my opinion, one of, if not the most important things that you need to have if you're going into anything and you want to be successful in it. A good mindset is key to achieving anything, basically. So first off, if you can see it and believe it, you can achieve it. So you want to know what you want first off. You need to be able to see. You need to have clarity. Because if you're just like, oh, I want to be rich, that's such a base level to everything. If you want to be rich, how are you going to get there? You need clarity. You need steps. You need a plan on how you're going to get there. You need to identify what you want. Once again, you need to be clear on it. You can't, oh, I want a cool car. What kind of car do you want? It's kind of stuff like that. You really have to be specific in what you want, because if you make it just so vague, it's really hard to work towards it because it's just some big thing in the distance. It's like, oh, well, that can wait till later. And then that is just procrastination, and then that brings you down a lot. Things to leave at the door, bad things that you don't want to have in your mindset. Jealousy. If you're always focused on other people, how are you as a person supposed to grow? Because if you're always focused on other people, you spend so much of your energy focusing on them, studying them, wondering about them, then you can't focus out on yourself. So if you just don't care about them and just focus on you and what you're trying to do, that can help a lot. Another thing is perfectionism. If you're always trying to make something perfect and you never get it done, what's the point of doing it in the first place? Because if you just do it, or you try to do it and then you never get it done, that's just a bunch of wasted time because you're trying to make something perfect and it's never going to be perfect. Trust me, I've dealt with that a lot, so I know what it's like. Another thing is unhealthy fear of failure. You can't have that. Yes, you're going to fail. That's life. Failure is like, I don't know what to say. It's like failure is the ladder to success or something like that. I'm not sure. But failure, it's going to happen. It's inevitable. You're not going to be perfect at everything. And you can't be scared of something just because you might fail. If you're scared of something because you might fail and you never end up doing it, that just leads to regret. Like, oh, what if I had done it back when who knows how far along you get and realize that you're like, man, I really should have done that. Another thing that you don't want is self-doubt. You have to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, who else is going to believe in you? You have to believe in you, and you have to know that, hey, I can do this. Tying into that, judgment of others. If you're always judging people, you don't know them, like, just focus on yourself, work on yourself, stop using energy just judging other people, and maybe kind of judge yourself a little bit and see where you need to work on yourself, and then work on that, and then eventually that can help you get up to wherever you want to be. All right, now moving on to things that you do want to do. Take ownership. If you're always putting the blame on other people, how are you supposed to improve? Because you're always putting the blame on other people or things or whatever happens. If you're always avoiding the blame on yourself, then you're never going to improve, because you're just, oh, well, I couldn't do this because little Timmy over here got in my way. Like, if you fail at something, yes, sometimes it might be other people's faults. It might be circumstances, something like that. But if it really is your fault, you have to take ownership for that. You have to take ownership for your life as well. So, yeah. Another thing you need is positive mental attitude. If you're always negative and down about stuff, how are you supposed to really get anywhere? And even if you do have a negative attitude, feed off of that to improve yourself, kind of. Another thing, consistency is key. The person, it's the turtle in the hare. It's age old. If you're consistent at something, you're always going to be the person that's like sporadically working on it. Yes, they might seem like they work harder because they put in like long hours, maybe like one day of the week. But then if you're in there putting in 30 minutes every day, like every single day, you're eventually going to build up and you're going to beat them. That's just how it works. Another mindset term that's really important is called blissful dissatisfaction. Chad King talked about this at the Multifamily Live event. Super cool dude, by the way. But blissful dissatisfaction means it's basically you're happy with where you've come, but you always know that you can be better and then that you can do better. You're proud that you've came this far, but you're not really content with where you are. At least some people are. I mean, if you're happy, if you're completely happy with where you are, you don't really care that you could be better, then that's fine. That's good for you. But a lot of people nowadays more than ever, I think, they always want to be better. So be happy where you've come, but just always know that you can do more, because there's always someone above you. There's always someone that you can beat, and you can always be better. We're human beings. We're not perfect. You can always be better. Another thing, be non-reactive. Control what you can, but don't worry about what you can't. I've started to live by this. I love this. It's amazing. Because if you're always worried about stuff that you can't do anything about, that's just pointless. That's completely pointless. You're stressing about things that, yes, they may matter, but they also kind of don't matter. Because if you're stressing about them and you can't do anything about them, that's just useless. You're putting too much stress on yourself. And if you can't do anything about it, what's the point in the first place? All right, 2 more things I have on here is always keep your eyes on the prize. You need something to work towards. Like if you're just working to work, then you're going to get burnt out. You need something that you can see that's hopefully in the near future that you can keep your eyes on the prize, focus on that, and that can help motivate you. But then also I have on here, self-motivate. Because a lot of times other people, they're not going to motivate you. You need the discipline and you need the motivation in yourself to always keep working. The last thing I have, bold, underlined, everything on here, is just do the work. A lot of people in my generation, Gen Z, they want all the results, but they don't want to put in the work, and that's honestly kind of sad. Like, no hate to my generation, but it is. They want the results. They don't want to work for them, and then they get sad when they don't get those results. So you got to put in the work. If you want something, you got to work towards it. You can't want it and be like, oh, I want it, I deserve it, oh, blah, 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 I need that. No, you always got to work towards it. All right, another thing, core values. These vary person to person. You can decide them for yourself, but here's mine. Positive mental attitude. Just always be positive about things. Accept responsibility. Be disciplined. Be a lifetime student. Always be trying to learn something, basically. Show up. Bring energy to places. Always have integrity. And then, once again, bold, highlighted, underlined, all that stuff. Hard work. Because that's how you go places. All right, last few things on here. You need to build social credibility, step by step. Build a platform for yourself. That's what I'm doing. That's half the point I'm doing this podcast is A, to get myself out there, and then B, to start building a platform. But when building that platform, you need to make sure it's all in an image that you want. You don't want to post certain things that just don't contribute to the image that you want online about yourself. You need to build that platform, and you don't need to build it on things that aren't professional. I don't want to say aren't professional. You don't want to just have your professional world in there. You want to have a little bit of personal stuff, but just don't post weird stuff, basically, if you're trying to build your social credibility. All right, last few things on here. Become the person you would want to be around and be involved with, basically. Yes, you need to find people that are better than you. You need to surround yourself by those people. That you need to let them build you up, because that's one of the biggest things to being successful. But then also you want to learn to be that person as much as you can, because then you can be that person for other people and the cycle continues, and that's just better for everyone. And then second to last thing I have on here, have a bigger reason than yourself, because a lot of times self-motivation, yes, it's very important, but it's hard. So you need something else to kind of rein you in and be like, okay, this is why I'm doing this. Something to motivate you when you're feeling lazy or feeling down, something like that. All right, last thing, there are some terms that I'll probably be talking about shortly as we go more in detail into actual multifamily investment stuff. There's a flashcard, a Quizlet. There's a Quizlet set down in the description. Go check that out if you want. There's a lot of terms on there. They're all defined. There's 50 of them or so. I plan on doing an episode later where we go more in depth into all of those so you can kind of explain them more, because some of them are pretty dang confusing. All right, that was episode 3, Focus on Mindset. Thanks for watching. I really do appreciate that, and I'll see you guys next week.